Live this morning to talk all about this new series. Jeffrey, good morning.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just hadn't.
Hi, Rob.
Jeffrey, I know that you were in that courtroom more than 20 years ago now. The jury deliberated for just one day, and they came back with a verdict that really shocked the entire planet. What was it like sitting in that actual courtroom and hearing that jury come back with an innocent verdict?
Well, you know, there are a few moments in your life when you feel like history is unfolding in front of you. And I knew that however this came out, I was going to watch history, given how much interest there was in this case. And, you know, there's a famous shot that is recreated in the series of OJ Simpson getting the verdict, and the camera pans from Simpson to the Ronald Goldman's family. And I'm seated right behind them. And first of all, I look 20 years younger than I do now, which is a little depressing. But it is also true that you can see on my face and everyone's face the shock and astonishment, because as I made clear then and I made clear now, I thought he was guilty. And I was, frankly, appalled by the verdict.
You know what? I think it's interesting you use the word appalled, because I think white people across the country were appalled. A lot of black people were cheering after that all happened, and that took on a personality in and of itself. So let's fast forward 20 years later. We're in Kansas City, Missouri here, not far from Ferguson, Missouri. We know what just happened there. Has anything really changed in the last 20 years?
Well, I think some things have changed, but I think what makes American Crime Story, though it's 20 years old, so topical, is that it does come out after Ferguson, Chicago, Staten Island, South Carolina, all these cell phone video stories that have become so familiar to us. And the theme of my book and the theme of the series is race in the criminal justice system, how African Americans and white people experience dealing with the police, law enforcement in different ways. So it doesn't make me any happier with the verdict, but it certainly makes the verdict a lot more comprehensible.
And people forget about what was happening in Los Angeles at that time. The Rodney King situation had just happened. In this case, really, you know, the defense's whole strategy was to put the LAPD on trial. I've got to admit, Jeffrey, I'm absolutely loving the series. I think Cuba Gooding Jr. is doing such a great job. It's an amazing cast. David Schwimmer, interestingly enough, plays Robert Kardashian. We don't really know a lot about Robert Kardashian, or this generation doesn't know a lot about him now because his kids have become famous. But in your research, did you find anything to support the rumor that Chris and OJ had an affair, and that maybe Khloe is actually OJ Simpson's daughter?
Wow, no.
That's a rumor that's out there.
That is not. Yeah, you know, there are a lot of rumors out there. There are a lot of rumors about who could have done this. I think the simplest explanation is always the clearest one. I don't think O.J. Simpson was the father of any of the Kardashian girls. They were good friends. I think one of the brilliant things about David Schwimmer's portrayal of Robert Kardashian is you see how this incredibly loyal friend of O.J. Simpson turned out to see the evidence and see his friend in a very different way, because Kardashian was no dummy. And he watched the evidence and he started to think, my God, I think my friend might have done this.
Quickly, just in 5 seconds, have you ever had a chance to speak with OJ?
You know, as important as he's been to my career, I have never exchanged a word with him. I've tried. I've written him in prison in Nevada, where he's been for the last several years. But no answer.
And he'll likely die there in prison, doing a 33-year stint right now. Jeffrey, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
I think he'll be out before he dies.
You think so? He's almost 70 years old now.
Yeah, he's eligible for parole in 2017, and he's 68 years old. There are not a lot of people over 70 in prison, and I think he'll get out eventually.
We'll have to wait and see, Jeffrey. Thanks so much. I've really enjoyed the series.